Hi everybody, it's Heather from MCI Designs. This is going to be a bit of an experiment. My dad was given this saw blade and it's kind of sharp. It's about 20 inches across and it just barely fits in my screen. I think it cuts off a little bit, so sorry, but I can't get this phone thing up any higher. So he wants me to do a pour on this. So I'm not really sure how to tackle this one because it weighs a ton. So it's not, and it's sharp on the edges. So it's going to be difficult to pick it up and tilt it and tip it. So I think I'm going to do something in a swipe. So what I've got is a bunch of colors prepared. And I'm going to start with a row of, this is Grumbacher Prussian Blue. And I'm just going to lay down a line going across the canvas, and the saw blade that I'm hoping will be fairly straight-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now what I'm using on my table is, it's actually a washing machine pan. I've seen many YouTubers who do the larger size paintings use these washing machine pans to catch their drips. So it's kind of handy that way. What would be ideal is if I had these mixed in squeeze bottles, then I'd have a little bit more control over how much paint was actually getting laid down, but of course I do not, so this is just going to have to do. Put a little more on this side. Now this thing is solid steel, so what I've ended up doing is when my dad picked it up and brought it home, he scoured it with steel wool to clean it off, and we got as much grease and everything off and dirt as we could. Then what I did was I used a spray primer and coated the entire surface and let it dry. So I'm hoping, against hope, that this is going to work. So we shall see. Okay, so I'm going to do some purples and pinks and gold on the top half, and I'm going to swipe that way. And then I'm going to do some blues and turquoise and gold on the bottom half and swipe this way. So it's like kind of peacock colors versus kind of sunshine colors, but all are going to be swiped with this Prussian blue on a white background. So we'll see how that works. So we'll lay down some purple. Now, because the blue is the swipe color, I'm putting that line a little bit thicker because that is going to pull over everything else. The only thing I don't know how is going to work really well is this hole in the center, because the blue won't be there because I didn't want it really that wide. So I may just add a few drops of the blue around the top and the bottom of the hole and see how that works. So we shall see. So we're going to put down some purple. And we'll let that run down in. And then I'm going to do a line of gold. Now the gold can kind of take over sometimes, or it can get lost depending on where it is in your pour. So I'm kind of sandwiching it in the middle between the purple and the pink. So I'm hoping that that's not going to look like garbage. But this whole thing is a bit of an experiment, so I've never really poured on a saw blade before. At least not a big one like this. It's a little difficult to maneuver and manhandle because it's all sharp and stuff, but there. So there's our gold. And that's an Artist Loft Old Gold. I really like that shade. It's really bright and shiny. Some of the other golds, it's hard to find a nice gold, but I really like that one. It comes out quite nice, and it sets off well against the pinks and the purples and also against the blues and turquoises. So I think it's going to be an interesting piece when it's done. So now we're going for some of this pink. Now I think this is a Winsor & Newton Opera Rose, and I believe that there is some iridescent medium mixed in with it as well. Now the purple is an Artist Loft metallic purple, so it's got a bit of sheen. So all the colors except for the Prussian blue have the metallics in them. Whoops, there's a big glob of pink. Well, it's a good thing we're swiping it. Oh, here comes the cat. Sorry if you can hear that. It's past his cuddle time. So, okay. So I don't have a whole lot of this blue, so I'm hoping that this is an Artist Loft metallic blue. So I'm hoping that this will be enough. So we're going to lay down a row of the blue here. Oh yeah, we'll have enough. So this is a bit of a slow process. Oh, that's okay, that should be fine. I think this blue could have been a little bit thinner, but I think it'll still work. Oh, bummer. Look at that. Alrighty, well, we'll just move that over like that. The other one should be okay. Now this washing machine tray liner thing, I've got covered with plastic because as much as it's meant to get paint on it, I like to keep it as clean as I can, just for my own sake. And I'm going to put on my gloves, which I forgot to do. All right, and I've got two more colors left. I'm going to do another strip of gold. There we go. Another strip of the gold below the blue and before the turquoise. So we'll see how that combo works out. Ooh, that was a bit of a wobbly line. Not to worry about the little blop there. It's going to get swiped over and pulled down anyway, so it's not a big deal. So we might get some green I think, or even some turquoise coming out with this interaction between the gold and the blue, which is interesting. Okay, and last color is, this is a cobalty blue metallic from Artist Loft. It's one of my favorite colors. It's got that peacock kind of feel to it. Well, that's not going on well. Let's try this again. Hush, buddy. Go away. Okay, so there's our colors. I think I want a little bit more blue right there, but I don't know if it's going to stay because it's rolling down into the hole. Okay, so that is our swipe strip. So now we're going to lay down some white, and we'll just see how this goes. I'm going to try and get it in these teeth because there's not a whole lot of movement that I can do on this piece once we've got it in place, because it's damn heavy and it's sharp. Now, because I'm doing a swipe, I'm only going to swipe up to not right up to the edges, so the edges are still going to be white, so I can come back with a brush and touch up any little spots that don't end up getting as good of coverage, or if there's any little gaps, because each of the saw teeth has a little bit of space underneath it, so they may or may not cover well. But this should be an interesting experiment anyway. Not to worry if you don't get it all the way up to the color line, it's just going to swipe right over top anyway. Okay, so that's one side. Same with spots that have thin coverage. It'll smooth out a little bit when we do the swipe, and the paint is, for the most part, very self-leveling. But because this is so big, some of the working time may come into effect, and we may end up getting it starting to dry in spots that we don't want. So I'm going to have to pick up the pace here a little bit, and we're going to do the top edge. Shh, go away, buddy. Just so long as he doesn't jump up on the table, we're good. Go away. Okay. So let's get this all nice and smoothed out. I'm hoping that we'll get the paint spread in thin enough and smooth enough layer that I'm not going to have to tip it or try and tilt it to even things out or to get rid of excess paint. Because I don't know how I don't know how to tilt this thing without A, cutting myself, and B, ruining the effect that I think I'm hoping to get. So I'm just gonna try and smooth it as much as possible before we start swiping. So that may mean some paint loss, but I think that can't really be avoided. Okay. Ah! All right. So the first task is going to be the swipe. And for that, I am going to use paper towel. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking a pair of scissors and I'm cutting my paper towel into, yeah, I think that's about a good size, into strips. And what I do, I don't want to do this over top of the painting, but I'm going to spritz just the end of it, just enough to get it damp. Not wet, not drippy, just damp. And then I take it and I dab it on, usually on my shirt or my smock, just to get the excess water off. And that's what I'm going to use to swipe. So I'm going to spray this and we'll see how it goes. So just a couple of squirts. So now you can see it's just damp, not wet. So here we go. Where do I want to start? Maybe I'll start here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it into the dark blue first, but not touching the purple. And then I'm just going to pull. I'm not going to pull it all the way to the edge, so I'm just going to pick it up. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I like. And unfortunately, you have to cut a new piece of paper towel for each stripe. So again, whoops, I got that in paint. Hang on. I don't want that contaminated. One second. So you can do them different widths if you want. There's really no rhyme or reason. I'm not seeing a whole lot of the gold in there, but there's a little bit poking out. Oh, I think this is going to be pretty. Okay. Now, adding the water to the paper towel gives the towel just enough weight that it will pull. It doesn't pull as well when it's just dry. So let's put it right there. And we're just going to pull down. So I'm going to do them at staggered, varying lengths. And I might even do some of varying widths. I think that might be interesting. I'm going to cut a couple here. I probably should have done this beforehand. Okay, next one. Now I want more of that indigo in the center. So what I'm going to do is just lay a little bit, very carefully, along this lip, because I'll catch the drip. That's where I want the blue to be the dominant color. So this one I'm actually going to need thinner. And catch it before it all runs down into the hole. Oh, but I'm getting a little bit more blue. Oh, I got a little more gold in that one. Okay, so what I'll end up having to do is top that and fix with the indigo. And with a little bit of the blue. And oop, that's got white on it. Ooh, that was close. And I'll fuss with that after, but I want to get these all done. Okay, so again, lay this into the darker color and pull down. Oh, that's pretty. Still not a lot of gold in there, but that's okay. Just a little hint here and there is good. And well, it's interesting. I hope it's going to dry okay. We shall see. Squirt bottle. There's no rules, really. You can kind of just wing it. So you can do it however thick or thin. You can stripe and swipe the whole thing. You can stripe it like this. I don't even know if my phone has slow-mo. This is probably really boring for you guys to watch, but you can suffer right along with me. Ooh. There we go. That one I can save and use the other half. And one more. This should finish off this side. There. All right, that's one half of the bottom sort of done. Try not to get my head in the way. Whoops. All right, well, we'll see how this one goes. Try and do this one a little bit longer. Trying to keep them of varying lengths, but you still want to be consistent. Come on, suck it up. There we go. And the nice thing with the swipes is you can go right over the edge of ones you've already done. Come on, lay down. There you go. And you can do little shorties. And you can do longer ones. So I'm hoping that this is going to look good when it's all finished. There. Okay. That's one side. Now I'm going to move myself over to the other side of the table. One second. There's my scissors and my paper towel. And I'm sorry if you can see the cord. I'll get that out of the way. All right, here we go. Water bottle. That's not looking too bad. And I think I still have enough of the indigo in here that I'm not going to need to add any more quite yet. So let's see. Let's do a wide one down the center. And let's do a little bit more of this indigo right here on the edge. Oh, knock on wood, no drips so far. Okay, so that's been sprayed. Let's pop that right down. See what happens. Oh, we got a little bit of white in there. That's okay. I can fix that with another swipe. Ooh, but look at those. That's pretty. Okay. I've got another blue one. Let's let that get soaked in. And we'll pull her down, 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 down. Oh, that's nice. I think that's an interesting combo. Whoops, cut that too short. Hang on. Okay, let's do one right here. Come on, let go. Okay, let's do another one right there. That's not too bad. I kind of like that color combo, although the gold is getting a little bit lost, which is fine. It shows up in little hints right in there, and we're getting little hints right in here, and it'll still continue to develop as the process goes on. I just don't want it to get too dry. I don't know, this one kind of reminds me of peacocks and cotton candy. So I'm thinking this one might get a circus name. Peacocks and cotton candy. Whoops, almost. Ooh, did I get enough blue? No, I did not. All right, that's going to be a reswipe. Yep. Reswipe. Oh, I was doing so well too. Spoke too soon. There. Like I say, you can just swipe right on over top when you make a boo-boo. Sometimes all you have to do is add a little bit more paint, which is what we're going to do right there. And I think we're going to do that right now. Okay, so I want to fix that. I don't like that. We ended up getting white in there, which I don't like. So I'm going to add some indigo right there along the edge. Or, sorry, Prussian blue. And then I'm going to add a little bit of purple. Please don't drip. Inward. Oh, it dripped. Ah, you can't even tell. Then I'm going to add a little drop of gold. Bloop. And a little drizzle of pink. Then swipe it again. Oh, maybe a bit wide. That's better. And that's fixed-ish. I don't mind the white. I think that's okay. I think it kind of goes with, like there's white there and a little bit there, so I think that's all right. That's not bad as far as a quick fix goes. And just a couple more swipes and we're done. Well, the hard part anyway. And again, moved too fast. Didn't get enough. Purple. Gold. Pink. And Prussian blue. Retry that one too. Sorry, this video is going to be horrendously long. Oh! But it's a huge blade. There we go. Now the blue is soaked in. And pull down. Just a few more to go. Let's do a wide one. Now, doing the swipes this way will also help level out and even out some of the paint on this canvas, or on this saw blade. So I think that will help in the long run. Let's do a narrower one. And so you can hang this either way, really. You can hang it like a, with the horizontal line here as your center, as your horizontal, or you can put it on the vertical. There's really any number of ways that you can set this up. And what I would like to do, is that in? Yeah, is resin this piece when it's finished. I think it'll make a very interesting piece of artwork. And I think my dad wants to hang it by the front door. So we shall see. We'll see how well it turns out. And I think one more ought to do it. Okay, so the swiping is done. Oh, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to come back around if I can get this cord out of my ponytail. Well, that's not bad. Oh, I just have that one spot to fix. I still don't like that. Let's get a small piece and we'll just trim it down a little bit. Yeah, that's the only part that I don't like. So let's fix that before it dries too much. And my spray bottle's way over there. There. And then that can fix with just a touch. So that's not too bad. Now what I do want to do is go in and just fix up like the edge of the inside lip and that sort of thing, but you don't need to see all that. What I will do is torch it, making sure not to light my paper towel on fire. This is just getting rid of the air bubbles, and it may also help with cell production. Don't really need it on the bottom half. It's celled up really nicely. But as you can see, the cells on the top side, on the purple and pink side, are quite different from the cells on the bottom. So the cells on the bottom are this lovely lacing, and then the cells that we've got on the top are completely different. They're big, bubbly, and I like that it's different on the two sides. Now on the top, I think only the pink had silicone in it. I don't think any of the other colors on the top side did. The Prussian blue, I think, had a drop or two in it. And I'm pretty sure both blues on the bottom had a little bit of silicone. So it's interesting to see how the two different colors sets react a little differently to the paint. There we go. The paint additive. So there you have it. That is a monstrous saw blade. Good times. I hope Dad likes it, because I don't want to have to scrape it and do it again. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and have a good one.